I want to talk to you about something that's just recently happened to me dealing with United Healthcare. Now, I'm not going to talk about the killing or murder of the CEO of United Healthcare because that's a whole different can of worms. And from what I can hear, given what was written on those shell casings, it sounds deeply personal. But what happened to me is I went on Medicare over a year ago when I turned 65, and I selected a United Healthcare supplemental plan. You know how you go in, choose your options, and get the coverage that you want. So I selected a plan, and I barely used this since I came off of the American Care Act or Obamacare. So I did a review. They've been running constant commercials about enrollment period and all that. And I have a plan that has some things on it that I don't really use. So those things cost me a little bit extra every month. So I decided, okay, let me go get a plan that has everything that I have on this plan, but drops off those things I don't use. Maybe save, a few dollars every month. So I called in, got in touch with somebody, and, went over the plan. I said, don't you have one just like this that just doesn't have these extras I don't use? They said, sure, we got one. So the representative on the phone proceeded to go over the differences and said, okay, we can go ahead and switch you over to this plan, and actually gave me a monthly premium that would start January 1st. I'm just going to round this off and just say the monthly premium was 150 bucks and would save me about, you know, $22 over what I pay now. And he said, let me give you a confirmation number. That's okay, cool. Then at the end, he said, I need to get you over to a licensed agent in order to complete this. That's okay, fine. I'm figuring you gave me a confirmation number, you gave me a monthly rate, so they're just going to push the file button. So the line was backed up and they did that deal. If you want somebody to call you back, do this, whatever. I went, yeah, sure. So I'll get a call back a few minutes later. So I'm talking to this person, and it's a female. She has kind of strange, flippant type way of talking, and proceeded to say, you know what, we're going to have to do a new application. I said, well, I'm already in the plan. I'm just shifting the one that didn't have some stuff on it I don't use. Yeah, no, sir, but we need to have you answer some questions and send you through underwriting. I said, underwriting? I'm already, covered by you guys. And she said, oh, I understand. I said, plus, the last guy gave me a confirmation number. Really? So I gave her the number. She pulled it up. Oh, he was just giving you a number showing that it's been started and it needs to be completed. She said, you want to answer the questions? I said, sure. She said, now, if you answer yes to either one of these, you'll end up on a tier 2, billing plan. Well, okay, go ahead. Then she goes through asking these questions about health status, if they have these. Most of the stuff she was asking was, really serious, disorders and illnesses, and they were no, 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 no. Then she said, if you answer any one of these yes, you remember, you have to go to tier 2 pricing, but you still have the plan you have. So if you want to just, keep that, that's fine. So she goes through this thing. She said, we're almost through. She said, okay, we're just about done. Then she said, okay, we're done. She said, well, we got a couple more questions. Then one of the questions was, well, how many prescription medications do you take? And she gave a number. Is it over 3, 4, whatever? I'm thinking, Okay. And I gave an answer, which was yes. Because then she says, finish the last question. She said, because you answered yes, you have to go to tier two pricing. And that will make your premium 500 and whatever monthly. I said, hold on a minute. As you asked me about the prescription drugs, I said, when I took this plan out, I actually filled out a form that listed every prescription drug medicine that I took. So you already had that information. She said, well, yeah, I know. I said, and the guy that I talked to that said I needed to talk to you gave me a monthly rate already. Oh, he shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have done that. I said, look, you go ahead and leave my plan untouched, the one I have, and we'll just dump all this other stuff. She said, oh, I understand. I understand. You know, some people want to save a few dollars, but we have to go through this process. She said, I'll go ahead and cancel this whole thing and just leave your plan the way it is. So, of course, I've checked to make sure there wasn't some sort of a, switch involuntarily. But let me just tell you, that kind of situation, which felt like a bait and switch, I'm familiar with insurance and how it works. If you have unlicensed people, they only can do so much. I've never had someone that they say is not a licensed person go all the way to give me a rate, tell me when it starts, give me a confirmation number, than to have this other person flip the whole thing entirely. But let me tell you why this is important beyond just what happened to me. And I've checked, and my rate is still the old plan, still the same so far. I'm checking to see if they went ahead and changed something. But this kind of setup is what the incoming administration and the Republicans that will control Congress, this is what they want to put in place. When they're looking at Medicare and all those things and Social Security, they want to privatize all that, which means it'll be in the hands of companies like United Healthcare, like Cigna, and Blue Cross Blue Shield, so on and so forth. Here's the problem that's always been with private health insurance: profit. Like any other business, the job of a health insurance company is to make money. Unlike an automobile manufacturer or some other company that are selling products, their cost of goods, let's say on a manufacturer, is the cost of the product, the labor, and everything else that goes into it. Then they set their price, and there you go. In health insurance, it's the same thing, but the cost is our health care cost, paying our claims. So that revenue coming in from these premiums, they can increase them. They can price out people that have pre-existing conditions. They can deny coverage through all kind of different things that you have to meet as far as requirements and tests when they start getting into medical conditions that qualify you or disqualify you from certain surgeries, therapies, rehabs, nursing home care, hospital stays. One company quickly backed off when they came out and said, we're going to have a limit on anesthesia. Then that hit the fan, and they said, oh, no, we're not doing that. When you vote for these people and they start talking about moving Medicare or Social Security and privatizing it, you end up going through this kind of stuff. That's what happens to you. And the difference when people say, well, the government's inefficient, actually, they're very efficient. But the difference is with the government running Medicare or Social Security, is it's done as a service, not as a profit making enterprise. When you remove the profit motive, then you're dealing with, are these procedures warranted or not warranted? The cost factor is not something that somebody's bonus depends on. So understand your votes and all the anger that has erupted online after this CEO of United Healthcare was killed. Stories that are just spilling out into the public sphere. And mainstream media is taking notice of it. And people are mad as hell. But this one incident I had, I mean, I was so angry and indignant. May have let a few words fly. And this is not the most serious part of it. So I just wanted to relate that and tie it into what's going on. Because if these private companies get their hands on Medicare, which they're trying to do, because one politician of hers said everybody should be on, Medicare Advantage, and if they get their hands on Social Security, it's going to be a rude, rude awakening, because you will have plunged our entire healthcare and our retirement system that we paid into all our lives into the hands of profit-making entities. And that's not going to be a good spot for anybody.